Now it's time to chip in on some golf. As you can see, there is a noticeable difference in the height of the seams between the old ball and the new ball. However, that difference is only 0.017 inches, and however slight that may be, that can turn into a huge advantage for the pitcher. As players, of course, the transition to college can be difficult. Most of the time, they're several hundred miles away from home. New environment, new people, new teammates. But they're not the only ones stressed by this change. Coaches can be too. Well, the football team schedule gets real starting this week. They're down in Austin opening Big 12 play against Texas. And joining us now from Austin is the Poke Report's own Matt McGann. Matt, what's it like down there? And I'm Curtis Quillin. 41 carries, 262 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Raymond Taylor is actually averaging 6.4 yards per carry, which leads the team's running backs, and he's third in carries. Now, Coach Mike Gundy has compared the walk-on to a rubber ball. But for some, cheering on the field is their life and how they've made a name for themselves. Megan Bordeo takes us inside the life of a cheer-lebrity. Last but not least, OU and Baylor in prime time. Mid-second quarter, Baker Mayfield drops back to pass, launches one from his back foot to Sterling Shepard, who stretches out for the pylon. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Third quarter, Sooners up 27-20. Handoff goes to Samaje Perine, who gets out into space and into the end zone. Baylor responds, though. Jared Stidham hits Laquan McGowan, that is, for the score. Sooners prove too much for Baylor this time around. Baylor loses for the first time this season, 44-34. Northward to Ames we go. Jack Trice Stadium, Kansas, trying to avoid an 0-4 start. Second quarter, Cyclones up 3. Where'd the ball go? Quarterback Sam Richardson walks into the end zone untouched. Kansas defenders just look confused. Right out of halftime, Iowa State with the ball. Running back Mike Warren untouched again. 62 yards on the first play of the drive. Jayhawks wouldn't go away quietly, though. 5 minutes left in the third. Waiting. Trey Parmalee wide open down the middle of the field. Kansas gets their first touchdown from a wide receiver this year. Jayhawks fall 38-13, and they are 0-4 this year. Iowa State is 2-2. Down in Fort Worth, the Horned Frogs matched up against the ailing Longhorns, and it was easy. 3 minutes in, Trevon Boykin drops back to pass and fires one to the back of the end zone. Cavante Turpin is all by himself. Trusty receiver Josh Dotson got in on the action early as well, going one-on-one against freshman Holton Hill, and brings another one down, no problem. Horned Frogs up 16-0. Andy Dalton chimes in, congratulating Boykin on surpassing the TCU career touchdown record. And Turpin here takes in another. Turpin just could not be stopped. Here he goes again, breaking another touchdown, 50 yards untouched. Trevon Boykin finished with 5 touchdowns, 332 yards, and the true freshman Cavante Turpin caps off the day with 4 of those. Like I said, too easy. Horned Frogs win it 50-7.
Rule changes are as much a part of baseball as, well, the baseball. Many times a rules committee will try to balance the game. Since 2011, runs in college baseball have been at a premium, but one change before the 2015 season may help change that.
As you can see, there is a noticeable difference in the height of the seams between the old ball and the new ball. However, that difference is only 0.017 inches, and however slight that may be, that can turn into a huge advantage for the pitcher.
Initially, pitchers didn't think it would make a big difference.
It's not going to really affect me much. I still have to stick with my game plan. The ball might move a little bit differently, but it's so minuscule for me that it doesn't make any difference in what I'm doing. I'm still throwing the same pitches.
But now that we've had a full season to see the effect of the new flat seam baseball, the numbers disagree. During the 2015 season, a change in batting averages was hardly noticeable because it only jumped by 1.5%. However, runs per game jumped by 7%, ERA and strikeouts jumped by more than 8%, and the biggest change, home runs jumped by 44%.
Well, I think we felt like home runs were definitely much more a part of the game. We saw some walk-off home runs for our team last year. Prior to that, you might have felt more like a base hit and a stolen base and another base hit were necessary. But the thought that a home run could end this thing right here was definitely more of a reality this year, I think, than it had been.
Although there was an immediate impact from the ball, the NCAA Division I Baseball Committee says there is still more time needed in order to tell whether the new ball was indeed successful.
I do believe that we are committed to seeing this thing through at least for 2 to 3 years and give the statistical analysis enough time to prove itself out one way or the other.
Holiday says now, if they feel like a player has leverage on the pitcher and can possibly send one deep, they may call for it. But regardless, he says he'll keep his options open.
We're not really committed or married to one style of play. I think your team dictates your style of play. But I think the old ball, because the home run was a little bit more of a dinosaur, you felt like one run could mean a lot more to you than, say, it may now, where a 3-run homer is more likely to come up. So you played for a run more often because it would usually hold up better.
Although ERAs, runs, and home runs are up across the nation, the new ball wasn't all bad news for pitchers.
The plus is you see less blisters, you less finger issues, because the bigger seams always created issues for guys.
The new ball has even had some effects that just frankly aren't visible.
I think it's a better feeling ball. It's more similar to what the kids will use as professionals. And this is obviously a level where we want to prepare them for that. The professional baseball challenges, and a lower seam ball does react a little bit differently. So I think it's a really smart change and a good change.
The overall balance provided by the new ball should not only continue to help pitchers, but provide a spark to offenses, which will help increase baseball's entertainment factor with fans. For the Poke Report, I'm Curtis Quillin.